All right, One Piece, chapter 1168. In this chapter, King Harold pulls a shocked Pikachu face when he realizes the government was going to use him for evil plans and create a giant army. No one is surprised. Seriously, no one is surprised because we had the kids being turned into giants on Punk Hazard. We had smuggling of giants in the orphanage with Mother Caramel. We've seen how they treated giants in the past, lying to them to get them to guard gates. Clearly, Eam wants giants on his side, and this was the perfect way to get an army to go with the Marines itself, as Harold has turned himself over to a slave. But we don't get to that point yet. We start with the people of the world just learning about the giants who are been accepted into the army, how they fight with them, to see them in person. It's like, oh yeah, they're actually pretty great. I used to be so scared of them. I wouldn't mind seeing them now. And we're beginning to get harmony and love between the people and the races, and it's all wonderful. We see the school on Elbath coming to fruition. They're looking at the children, the next generation, who will be just smart kids, sharp wits, rather than wielding sharp weapons. And it's so beautiful. Love it. Harold and Ida's dreams are coming true. We see Ida sick, though, as the king is holding her hand. She mentions the importance of, she wished she could keep the warrior's pride, though. She really liked that. Don't throw away everything about your culture. But the king's just so angry because it was this culture that didn't allow them to marry. Ida, sweetheart that she is, like, yeah, but then we wouldn't have Loki, and that is my son. And I'm like, yes, that is your son. I love that moment very, very much. But then as he's holding her hand and saying, all our dreams are coming true. Soon we will be able to sail the seas together just like we did in the past. And it's a flashback of them when they were young little teenagers. And it is absolutely adorable. And then you just see her hand fall from his as she passes away. That dumb poison from before. King Harold leaves, his son Hyrule comes in, the other people go in to be with her, mourn, and Loki, innocent boy who's done nothing wrong in his entire life, is in a jail cell, hat down, shielding his eyes. I guess don't want the guards to see that this is getting to him. And I'm just, okay, evil villagers who poisoned her confessed it to Loki. Did Loki tell his father and they either just didn't listen or didn't hear him or didn't believe him? Or does he want to keep that information to himself for some reason? Perhaps not wanting conflict between the clans. Like, I already trashed their village. They got what was coming to them. To sow more animosity between the different clans of Elbath, it was just going to hurt us in the long run. So I'm just going to keep this to myself. Why? Why is Loki in jail? Why didn't he say, that bastard poisoned my mother, so I killed him and wrecked his village? Why? Why? Okay, maybe it was, yeah, killing him or beating him up, fine, that was good. You destroyed the entire village, there were innocent people in there, you still gotta do punishment for that. I don't know. Harold tells the people that we should have boats, that we can go visit the outside world can come to us. Harmony, unity, and by the way, I'm going back to the world governments, mariejois now, we got some missions, and then we can all be part of the world government entirely. He goes back there. Now, here's my question. I think it's not even an issue, but I'm just wondering something. He shows up, and Shanks was supposed to get the next contract, so there's the shallow sea, so the deep sea merc contract, covenant, whatever we're calling it. And Shanks doesn't show up. Because the one who was going to get promoted didn't show up, well, we might as well promote you, Harold. You were next on the list. Fine, that's fine. That's not a plot issue. But are we not concerned that Shanks went missing? And B, just because Shanks was to be promoted doesn't really mean that Harold was also meant to be promoted unless you need a certain number to fill these spots. Do we need a certain number of deep sea contracts in play at all times to maintain power, to spread power out? Or was this all a elaborate plan to not give Harold the chance to think about it? We know he would have jumped at the opportunity to get that mark anyway. He didn't need convincing. They didn't need to spring it on him. But maybe, hey, if we offer him that, hey, we'll promote you like next month or something, it might give him time to think about it and realize, hey, this might be a bad idea. What am I even getting myself into? But if we're like, hey, we'll promote you right now, he's going to jump at it. Unlikely to both fronts, but I'm like, I do find it interesting that just because someone else couldn't be promoted because they physically weren't here means the next person gets promoted. So I'm wondering if there is a set number of mercs that need to be in play at all time, or they're like, yeah, this was always the plan. We need to get Harold on board right now. So in a wonderful panel, I love it. As the Gorosei, they're walking down the hall and you just see Harold's foot as he can apparently either stand or crouch in this building to walk down to the holy room, iron, whatever the throne room is called. I was going to call it the Iron Throne. And Harold explains that once Elbath becomes a part of the world government member nation, he's going to abdicate the throne and just set it aside for someone who can really rule in peace. And then someone from the empty throne says, that is not up to you, it is up to Mew. And he's like, why is there someone on the empty throne? And that is when we meet Eam, and it's terrifying as hell. I'm always going to love him on the throne, and people just being like, why is there someone on the empty throne? What is going on? I love that moment. And anyway, Harold gets the deep sea contract, power, immortality confirmed, and all that, and it's absolutely glorious. He then goes back to Elbath with instructions to make that pentagram circle in the throne room to which he can talk to Eam through. He announces to everybody that with this last mission, they will officially be a world government member nation. And yeah, so he gets his orders. Could you repeat that, great Eam? Mobilize the entire nation and form a grand army of warriors. The giant warrior fleet will stand alongside the Marines and serve the world. Harold freaks out, saying, wait, no, hold on. Everything I've done was to free Elbath from violence. Of course, if anyone still wishes to fight, I'll gladly encourage them to enlist in the Marines, but... And the outside the guards are like, who's he even talking to? What's going on? We see the eyes of Eam and word mental control swirls going around. Thou vow to atone for Elbath's history, even at the cost of becoming a slave. Harold says, I meant to carry that burden alone. Eam says, the burden of such history is too great for thee to bear alone. Now hold thy tongue. Thou cannot disobey me. Or thou cannot disobey Mew. And the burden of such history cannot be bared alone. Tinfoil hat time. If he could be almost talking about himself, Eam did something absolutely horrible in the past, a sin on the world. He can't bear that burden alone and is passing something through those marks across multiple people. Is he trying... I keep saying he. We don't know their gender. Or is Eam just blaming the giants for something that happened in the past, the Void Century? I would like it to be kind of projecting onto him when really Eam recognizes that he or she did something absolutely horrible and can't bear that sin alone anymore. I don't know. It's interesting, though. Harold starts losing control of his body as Eam explains, you can't disobey me, you are under my complete control, regardless of your will. Harold goes to try to almost claw off the marker, grab his arm, feels the mark, is just like, oh no, I'm losing control of my body, I can't let Elbath come to this. They are not meant to be warriors, we want peace. He screams from the guards, pulls an Odysseus, and has them, or tells them to tie himself to this pillar right here, as he can't control his body. They're like, what are you going on with? What's going on, boss? And he's just like, shut up, I don't have much time, I can't control it much longer, bring me my sons. And they're like, Hiruden's out at sea and Loki's in prison. Get Loki out of prison, get him here now. So we're going to get him and Draal show up and all the guards stabbing Harold because apparently they didn't tie him to the pole quick enough, or the pillar fell down, and just a massacre, which is eventually going to result in a sword through Draal's head, and Loki taking the blame, as he always does. We also have to have someone stealing the devil fruit, or at least going to the box. Is the devil fruit even going to be in there? Did someone already steal it? Is it the gum fruit? Is it the darkness fruit? Is it a different fruit entirely? I am very excited for the next one. Now, the other thing we gotta mention is a lot of the panels are not quite finished. The shading is still like pencil shading in this chapter. I like that. I wish we get more unfinished chapter panels because it just looks cool. Not everyone. It doesn't have to be everyone, but every now and then if Oda wants to take it easy, he's like, you know what? That unfinished design looks fine. I like the shading of that. It makes it feel really cool. I like it. That is all I got. I will talk to you later.